Hello, my name is Michael Bates and I'm supervisor for veteran security. I'm also the trainer for the defensive tactics. This video that we're going to show in the next series of videos that we're going to see are tactics that we use in defensive tactics are basically restraint and control. For those who've gone to the class, this will just be a nice refresher for you. Those who haven't gone to the class, this will just show you some of the basics of ways of escorting a person outside the club and some basic and mild level control and restraints. The first thing we're going to show in this series are two things. One is going to be the minimum custody hold and a transfer lock. Okay. Anthony Steele is here. He's one of our guys, security officers. He's going to assist us with this. He's very good. He's been all the way up to level 1 in our defensive tactics class, and he knows how to do this. First hold we're going to talk about is the minimum custody hold. This is a very low level custody hold. It's only meant to be used on someone that's not being aggressive, that hasn't been fighting, and you're just escorting them out the club. You've already verbally told them that they have to leave. They resisted. They haven't, acquiesced. You verbally told them to leave. So you've told them maybe several times that you have to go, and they haven't done it. Maybe they're drunk, or maybe they were doing something, whatever the situation might be. Now you physically have to touch them and tell them it's time to go. Okay. Now on this level of hold, we're going to initially start with this. If the person escalates it beyond what we call the minimum custody level, then you would go to something else. Okay? But in this situation, he's just going to be verbally resistant, and when I go to physically apply force to him, he's going to come along with me. Okay? The first thing you want to do with this is, depending upon how many people there are with you, if there's 2 officers or if there's 3, is you want to stand one on 45 degrees to him if you're standing in front of him. If there's another officer with you, that person should be standing either directly behind him or 45 degrees off to the side right here, on his right side in front of me. Okay? So assuming I'm by myself and I'm standing here with him, and I've already told him, sir, you have to leave, and he hasn't, acquiesced and decided not to, I'm going to come across. I'm just going to grab his wrist right here. I'm not going to grab it hard. I'm going to grab it lightly. I'm going to pivot my foot around, and I'm going to hold him. And I'm going to hold him just here, and my other left hand is going to come and place itself right on his elbow, with my palm being right in his elbow. So when I turn my hand, I'm right at that junction, right above his elbow, which you normally hit yourself, cause a little funny bone area. It's right above that. There's a tendon there that we're going to use. So I'm going to first come up to him. He's going to resist me. I'm going to grab. I'm going to pivot around, so I'm on his back side, 45, where the other officer, if you had somebody, would have initially taken him. But if you're by yourself, you're going to have to get around to that position. You're going to stand your left foot forward, toward and close to his foot, your right foot back, and behind him. Not to the side of him, behind him at 45. You're going to keep his arm straight. If he starts to get aggressive enough to where he bends his arm, you got to keep it straight, then this is no longer minimum custody. This is now progressed to something higher. Okay? But he may resist a little bit, but as long as you can keep it straight by applying a little force, by pulling this back, and by turning your hand and popping this tendon here, and causing that reaction in him. As long as you can do that without a lot of force, then you're fine, because he may resist a little bit. If he gets to a point where he's wild and he's bending out and he's doing those little things, that's another level of force that we have to go to. Okay? So once I've grabbed him here, I'm once again going to verbally tell him, let's go, sir. Let's go. And if he at any point in time stops, he's back up a little so we don't get it. But at any point in time, if he stops to resist, all I'm going to do, I'm going to do it from this side so you can see it, is I'm going to turn my hand up and use the webbing on my hand. I'm going to push it on this tendon above his elbow. At the same time, I'm going to pull back. So I'm going to have this little bit of two-way action. Now be careful with this. If you are a much larger person and you're doing this maybe to somebody smaller, or if you're doing it to a lady, or this can be kind of damaging. You can actually dislocate the elbow very easily. So be careful with this. Other key points, you need to make sure your elbows, your body stay close into your body, his arm stays outstretched, your hands stay in. So as we walk, the moment he stops, he gives me a hard time because he wants to get his drink, he wants to talk to his friend, and whatever it is, and I tell him he needs to go, I'm just going to pop him a little bit and tell him to go.
Yes,
okay? One other key point, when you're walking, if possible, and if he starts walking really quickly and you move at a quick pace, it may not be possible, but if at all possible, always keep your feet in a shuffle step. In a shuffle step. You don't want to cross your feet. If you have to start crossing your feet, you want to make sure you are behind him. If you start crossing your feet and you get ahead of him, or side to side of him, all he has to do is then push into you, and now you're going to be sitting on your behind. Okay? That is the basics of the minimum custody. All right, thank you.